breakfast is a spinach, and actually today I used one whole egg instead of a couple of different egg whites because I didn't have any choice, but that's fine. It'll probably be better. So it's an egg and a cup of spinach, and on the inside is black bean and corn salsa with a wedge of Laughing Cow light cheese. Oh, yeah, and I'm gonna have a cup of grapes with it. So, and there is the other part of my breakfast. Having some walnut crumbled pieces as a snack. I'm really low right now. I have to go to the grocery store. Depending on how things look when I get home, maybe I'll do a grocery vlog. I mean, a grocery haul. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I just finished another 5K run. And look at this. I got it done in 31 minutes. 31 minutes and like 14 seconds. So, 31 minutes for a 5K is not a fluke at this point. However, it is all I can push through. So, yeah. And that's not running the whole time. That's running about a mile, walking a little less than a fourth, you know, and then like sprinting when I can, like, you know, just getting as much done as possible. Okay. So here is my plan. I have a plan. I have this chart, and it's how to do a half marathon in 12 weeks. So I think I'm gonna try to look at my workout schedule and implement the chart because I want to run the 10K, and I think I want to try to get it done in an hour. Okay, y'all, and while we're here, let me just say, there's no way for me to get a picture. Oh, he left now, or he moved off. There's no way for me to get a good picture of the guy, but I'm going to describe him. So there's this guy at the park, and I guess he's got his kid with him, and like he's got skinny jeans on, like gray skinny jeans. And I'm not against guys wearing skinny jeans or anything, I'm just saying. He's got gray skinny jeans on, and then he's got like one of those hipster black and white like old school boombox t-shirts, and then he's got a gray handkerchief tied around his neck like cowboys used to wear, and then he's got a gray plaid fedora with a little red feather coming out, and then he's wearing sandals, and he has a man bag. He's here with, like, I guess his girlfriend, who is a sight, and his kids, or his wife and his kids. I just think it's like, dude, okay, listen. I mean, actually, I'm all for one. Like, for one, I think everybody should have their own style, and so that's cool if that's your style. I'm also all about fashion and stuff, so if you want to, like, stay with the trends, that's fine, too. But it just seems like a lot going on at once, in one place. In one place. And I'm not really sure how I feel about skinny jeans and sandals. I know on girls, if they're wearing them with like cute sandals or heeled sandals, that's one thing, but he's got like the big Velcro kind. I'm not sure how I feel about skinny jeans and sandals on boys or at all. I will have to think on this. Okay, yeah, good run. Going to the grocery store. Talk to you guys later. This particular yogurt is my, like, guilty pleasure. And, I normally only buy one. I bought two because I did not eat lunch. I went for my run. I had those nuts. I went for my run. One thing led to another. I went grocery shopping. I'm not home. It's 6 o'clock. I just got home at 6:15. I didn't do a grocery haul because I just got home. I still have to cook dinner. Oh, what am I making? I'm making stuffed bell peppers. Crab stuffed bell peppers. And I'm kind of cheating because you see these things? I'm using the Cajun crab cakes to stuff them. I'll show you. I'm just going to basically break them up and then mix some extra stuff in and make it special. But anyway, this was my lunch and that was my snack because I have not been very organized this weekend. One of my favorite snacks in the world is carrots and wasabi. So I'm using this wasabi. Oh god, it's so hot and it's so good. and I have baby carrots. I have 20 of them. I discovered it one day because of the shredded carrots that come like with sushi. I love it. It's like just so good. Oh my god, so good. I'll talk to you guys later. So this is dinner. That is the stuffed pepper with the crab cake stuffing. This is tilapia, like cooked and crumbled, and shrimp and mushrooms all cooked together with a little bit of Smart Balance butter. And this salad with this amazing, delicious, beautiful dressing. So we're about to go join the banana, and I'll get her opinion on the dinner. Hey babe, when you're done with that. Look, that's the bananas plate.
I ain't gonna eat all that.
She got the rice mix and the. How is it?
HWO. OMG.
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 It is so good.
That's awesome.
It is so good.
Good, babe.
I almost said WHO, but not.
OMG.
OMG.
Okay, so I just watched the Eagles-Giants game, and I have to tell you, I have a dual reaction. That was a good game. Their defenses was where it was at right there. But I have an affection for the younger Manning brother. Maybe because I'm 2 years behind. I am 18 months. 19 months, 20. Let's go. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm 23 months behind my sister. And, you know, my whole life, people have thought I looked like her. She was the pretty one because she was the skinny one. They've always thought I looked like her. I have attention deficit and I am dyslexic. I had really good grades, but I had a hard time. She's ridiculous. She can sleep through anything you tell her and she'll ace it. So I was always compared to her academically, and I have an alternative type of style. She's very, I love her. I love her style. It works for her. She's very classic, very, you know, black turtleneck, nice jeans, good shoes, simple silver jewelry kind of girl. And she's beautiful, and it works for her. I'm just saying. And she's the darker complected one, and I'm the lighter complected one. But everybody's always like, y'all look alike, and oh, you're nothing like your sister, or oh, your sister's so sweet, because I'm kind of antisocial, whatever. So I have an affection for the younger Manning boy, who I think is awesome. And so going into this game, I wanted him to do well. But I kind of wanted their spirits crushed so that next week, when the Saints play them, they'll have this whole, I have something to prove, and then be overzealous and mess themselves up. So I was like watching it, and I found myself being like, come on boy, get it done, throw that ball. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to be cheering for you this week, whatever. But that was a good game. The Eagles Giants was a good game today. That's the only game I actually got to sit down and watch. So let's see. Oh, I have to do something. I think it was Miss Jenny. I'm going to cut the camera and edit right here so that you don't have to watch this and do this, unless some genius
information pops up, which I doubt. But I think it was Miss Jenny, because I was like, oh, I'm going to do a sexy, like, Sunday 6 or whatever for football, so if you want me to do a team, and she told me San Francisco 49ers, and I don't know if I ever published the list, because it was never really complete, in my opinion, because I'm not as familiar with their, I'm not as familiar with their players, so I'm not as, I had to like do some research and figure out which guys were what, and nope. Okay. Just Julie Jules 2 wanted me to do the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't know if I ever did, so, this is what I came up with. First of all, it was hard because since I don't watch every week and I don't know your players, I had to go to the website and do the research with their little pictures that popped up, and I have to say those are like mug shots. They're just not flattering. I need lip gloss, guys. So so much better. God, that felt good. Okay. The sweet creaminess of it. Okay. So San Francisco 49ers, sexiest football players. This is what I came up with. Navarro Bowman. He's 6 foot, 242 pounds, is hot and sexy. Demarcus Dobbs, love him and like his name a lot. Ray McDonald. Demarcus, by the way, is 6 foot 2, 275. Ray McDonald is 6 foot 3, 290. Do you see what's happening? They're just amazing. Derek Hall, 6 foot 5, 307 pounds. Those are all guys that instantly made the list. I had to look up Jonathan Goodwin, and I found that in some pictures he made the list, and in others he did not. And in the comment you were like, do not do Alex Smith, and all I have to say is, ew. He's scrawny, and I don't find him attractive. I don't know. He's just not. At 6'4" and 250 pounds, he's scrawny. Scrawny at 6'4". Okay, but you know what I'm saying. So I couldn't come up with 6 for you. Sorry, but those were the guys who I felt should be on the top sexiest 49ers list. There you go. So now I did that, I feel better about it because I felt like, oh my god, I totally forgot. Now let's go answer questions. Tonight's questions come from ShinyPinkPolish, which I love. Your name, that's fun. And you mentioned, oh, you lost consistently. Like, did you ever lose motivation? And first of all, I want to make sure you understand that I did not have no gains. I believe that in the year, like in the first year where I lost my 100 pounds, I had 3 gains and like 2 maintains, something like that. But what's really important for me, which should be really important for you guys, what you need to remember and to think about, is I do the 8-week rule. I've heard it said in the Weight Watchers meetings that it's 4 weeks, that's 6 weeks. Some people do 10 or 12 weeks. I did the 8-week rule. It was never about this week. It was about what is my average now. When you add this week in, what's the average? And I always averaged between 1.5 and 2 pounds. And that, for me, is amazing. That's electric. So there were times when I would go 0.2, 0.4, 1.1. and then have like a 3 or 4 pound loss. And those 3 or 4 pound losses are big, crazy losses, especially as you get smaller. But a lot of times they come after kind of hanging out. Or your body might be on a different cycle. You might lose big and then have a hangout and then lose big. So you're going to see there's a definite change in the way you lose weight going from when you're very large to when you're just outside of healthy. When I was very large, it was just consistent 1.5, 2 pounds. Bump, bump, bump. Every once in a while there was like a hiccup, but like I said, it averaged. But then as I got to like 170, from 170 down to 150, like 175 down to like 155, which was like the last 20 of my first 100, it was very like little big, little big. And so you need to be aware that that's going to happen. I did not lack motivation. This has been from the beginning about health. And the good thing about it is, like I always say, it sucks to be fat because you're fat for months, possibly even years after you start making the right decisions. But one thing that does happen is you pretty quickly start to feel better. The first 10%, which is easy to get off, the first 10% makes you feel so much better. It makes you feel 50% better. The first, 25% makes you feel 75% better. So that kept my motivation going, feeling so good. Learning that I liked exercise, like really kept things going. Now, I always had the motivation. I did lack energy. Sometimes I'd get tired, like I'm tired, and then I just found that I had to work it out a different way. Sometimes, you see the cat over there? She's sniffing around because I made shrimp and fish for dinner, so she's like convinced that she's gonna find some. Anyway, I did get tired, but then you just switch it up. And I don't mean bored of the same exercise. I mean like, all right, I'm gonna work out in the morning because that works. I'm too tired to get up. Well, as long as I sleep, I can sleep, but I have to get up and get it done. Like that's not an option of leaving it off. So that was something that I dealt with. I will also say that in the very beginning, when I was still like really every day dealing with my addiction, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like now there are days every day I wake up, I make the choice to be sober. Like that's literally a conversation I have with me. I wake up and I'm like, it's gonna be an amazing day. Today's another sober day. But then it's gone. And driving past fast food restaurants does not call out to me or hurt me to pass them up. Going to parties and being around food does not hurt me or cause like the desire to use. So I'm good. There are days where it does hurt and where it is a fight for my sobriety. But in the beginning, those days were every day. And there was like one time in particular I can think about when I came home and I had only lost like 0.2 and I had been really in the throes of addiction, and I laid myself face down on my couch and I just started to cry. And I was like, I am so upset. Like I'm just always gonna be fat. I don't even want to do this. I just want to eat. I just want to eat. Just give me something horrible to eat. Give me a pizza, order a pizza, or go buy me burgers. I can do it. I just want to do it. I have to do it. Like you don't understand. If I don't eat the burgers, I'm not gonna be able to keep going. And because I had asked for the help that I needed, and because I had structured my life and the people in my life in such a way that they understood that I was serious this time, the banana was like, alright, I just think that you should have a burger tomorrow when you're not feeling like this. And I was like, how dare you? I'm gonna be fat forever, and like just totally But once you get up and you shake yourself out of that, then you're no longer like there, you know? And I think that those things happened, but it was never a lack of motivation. It was a fighting an addiction. And that can be really, really hard. My motivation, instead of going away, just grew exponentially throughout the entire thing, which I think is having a different mindset. And I'll tell you, I've done this 1,000 times and had the wrong mindset. But this time I had a different mindset. And like, actually just recently, Mandy made a video about getting to her 50-pound goal and feeling kind of done. Knowing mentally that she had more work, but feeling kind of done. And I talked about it in another video, being at Weight Watchers a year ago, because my Christmas dress was a big deal when I started in May. I wanted to be able to fit into this Christmas dress, and I fit in it beautifully. And one of the ladies was like, well, now that you got into your dress, you know, what are you going to do? And it was like, what? Because that dress was motivation, but it got forgotten about almost, because as I went, I found new motivation. It was like, oh my God, I can jog. Now my motivation is jogging twice as far as I did now. I can do this. Now my motivation is doing that. Like, and it's just constantly been like, it just has grown and grown. It still does. And it's not even something I have to work on. It's just a natural progression of my workouts and of my life and of what I want. And now my major motivation is I want to be a part of this. I want to take people and make it easier. I want, if I could, and I say this all the time and I mean it, I would easily give up 6 months in my body to like go into you and get you to the point where you're through with your addiction and where you've beaten those things and you've set up the habits to where it's physically easier to do what you need to do. I would totally take a body that hasn't worked out in 20 years so that I can work it out again. I know, even as much as I love to push myself, I will never get the same thrill as I got in the beginning when I woke my body up. It's like a high that you only get once, and then you spend the rest of your life chasing it. And I get that, and I will spend the rest of my life chasing it because I love it. There you go. Hope that answered your question. TheCorkeyCory, who I love, who's a nut and just put up a nut video, said, oh, what question would I be afraid to tell the truth on? I feel like I'm pretty open. Like, I feel like there's kind of nothing I wouldn't say. So I can't really come up with one. I mean, it's pretty open. It's an open book. Hey, Ruby. And then she said, if I had 30 minutes left to live and I had already said goodbye to my family, what would I want to spend that 30 minutes doing? And I can say this would probably change from day to day. This will probably change. But as of today, I would tell everybody goodbye, love and kiss them, and then I would run. And I would run and run and run until I couldn't run anymore, and I would keep running. And I would sprint my fastest, and I would run my fastest for 30 minutes. And I would die in the air running and hit the ground because it's just such an spiritually orgasmic, if that makes sense, a spiritually orgasmic time for me when I go running. It's like all the power of who I am is being tapped into and released, and I love it. I could cry talking about it. Like, it's, can't even explain it. It's just amazing. So I would say that I was done at this point. And okay, Susie's question was pretty in there, but I will just say I'm not gonna go through her whole question, but I will say it's another thing where I feel kind of torn about it. Like, if you are going to donate or give money or anything to a team, to a family member, to whatever, unsolicited money, for them to use, it's like part of it, you really kind of can't complain how it gets used. But I feel like from your story, you did give them what you wanted to be done with it, and you were polite and involved. And I feel like a thank you note, and even if they didn't do what you wanted with the money, if they said, oh, thank you for the donation, but I feel like the money is better spent here, I hope you understand. I feel like you do have the right to be upset by the rude reception, because, and that's the thing, like, you can't really get mad about where money goes once you give it away, but you can be upset with people being ungrateful and rude. And so I don't think that you're wrong, Susie. I think that you're right. There you go. And because we did Susie's but I didn't answer it, I am going to do Miss Jenny's. Yeah, Miss Jenny said, where did I meet the banana and whose kid is which? I met the banana at a bar, which is not, yeah, like, okay, I don't meet people. I'm extremely picky. I've not had many partners. I'm very picky. It's kind of sick. And I walked into this bar the Saturday night before Katrina hit New Orleans. I walked into this bar and there was this girl. It was very empty. They were having a hurricane party. I went with two friends. I was having a frantic night that like right the hours before, I was like, I'm not dressed right, I'm not happy, I'm like crying while I'm doing my makeup. It was just whatever. I've talked about the other girl that I was involved with, and we were still involved, not sexually, but it was a very emotionally sick relationship. But so I had just left her, and I was hooked up with some friends, and I was like, let's go out. And my mom was watching my daughter because she was taking her to evacuate. But the year before Katrina, I had spent 26 hours on the road driving from here to Dallas, which is an 8-hour drive. And I did that in traffic to evacuate. And I was like, I'm not evacuating again. So my plan was not to evacuate. My mom was like, well, if you don't, can I at least take the baby? And I was like, sure, you can take the baby, but y'all are just coming back, so who cares? So that was the deal. So I went out with my friends, and I walked in, and I see this girl, and instantly I forget about all of the ridiculousness going on with my best friends, who I was involved with or whatever. It's just gone. And she just had a spark, and I just wanted to talk to her. So I went over there, and like we wound up like kind of being at the bar right next to her, and you started a little bit of conversation, and it just kind of one thing led to another, and we were dancing together, and I'll kiss here or there. I'm picky, but whatever. It was an amazing kiss, and it was just like, this is crazy. Like, this is somebody who I actually want to know and to get to know and to have around. And that's weird to get that from like a first impression in a bar. So while we're talking, I had a child. I did not want any more. She's like, yeah. Also, I was in a relationship for almost 7 years with a Gemini, and I do not like Geminis, and they're selfish, and not all of them, but a Sagittarius Gemini relationship can be passionate, but just as passionately good, it can be passionately bad. And so he and I it was just a rough relationship for me. And I was like, I'm done with Geminis. I'm done. And I'm done with, I don't want anybody else with kids. I have one, the end. So I like this girl. We're talking. Everything's just perfect. And then I'm like, what's your sign? And she goes, oh, I'm a Gemini. And it was like a knife to the heart. Like, what? And then a little bit later, she pulls this picture out of her wallet. And she's like, yeah, I have a little girl. It's like this tiny little baby. And I was like, oh, what? You're Butch. What are you doing with a kid? Like, what? Why? And so we laughed, and I had given her my number, and we laughed, and it was kind of like, my friends are like, you really liked her, like, you don't connect like that, you don't talk to them like that, you really liked her. And I was like, yeah, she's a Gemini. And one of my friends was like, I'm a Gemini, we'd be great together. And I was like, no, we wouldn't. We're good friends. We would not be great together. And I was like, and she's got a kid. And they were like, you have a kid. I was like, I know, and I don't want a kid. Whatever, she's got a little baby. And then the storm hit, and cell phones went out, and all you could do was text message randomly. Sometimes you would get through, sometimes you wouldn't. And somehow, we'll call it miraculously, the only person I could voice call, and who could voice call me consistently, was the banana. So we spent the next couple weeks on the phone together, pretty much constantly. And then I met her daughter on a trip to Florida. I drove down to Florida, and that's it. That's how history went. I mean, we've had a rocky time, but we made a go of it. Moved in together. That was 2005. We moved in together, kind of, like, partially. I was still half in a town about an hour away, half the week, and I was moved into her place, our place, but I still was also living half the week in a town about an hour away in 2007. And in 2009, we bought our house. And in 2011, we went to Vermont and got married. So it's been a road, but it's been worth it. As far as the whose kids are whose, the older brunette is biologically mine, and the younger blonde is biologically hers. The thing about that is that we've been a serious dating couple, since the older was 3 and the younger was around 12 months old. So, and now they're 9 and 7. So it's definitely like that's not an issue, you know. I breathed, I changed diapers, I did all that, and it was rewarding and amazing. And I'm probably more like mom, and she's probably more like dad, because we don't. That's not like what they call it. They call us both mom. And people laugh because they'll call us by our first names sometimes, like when they're talking about us, and they're like, "Why don't they call you mom?" I'm like, because there's 2 moms. So what they've learned is that if they want something, they come to here, and they call me mom, and they'll talk to. That when they talk to me, they'll say mom about banana, and when they talk to banana, they'll say mom about me. But it's just, you know, like there's 2 moms. So sometimes first names get used. It's just whatever it is. I get really offended when people ask that question. I'm not by you, but like answering it in front of the kids, I don't really like to do. They know whose is whose, but I don't like the insinuations. Like, you know, and I had a lady at work who'd be like, yeah, but whose is whose? And I'd be like, they're ours. Yeah, but whose is whose? I'm like, they're ours. Yeah, but like one is one, and what it's like, if you have asked that question and somebody has answered twice that they are ours, you should probably leave it alone. Because they are our children and we are raising them. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. Kids Lid asked, What if the banana got my boots for my birthday? She's not going to get my boots. I've left them in the browser. I've made I've made it as easy as possible. I know I'm not getting the boots. I know. I could cry, but I know. What if she got the boots? Freaking no. What I might do. I honestly could not control myself. I don't even know. It would be a sickness. Like, in my head, I have a billion outfits planned around those boots. And then so much shopping I have to do for those boots. God, I love them. Okay. Then she asks, who, besides the obvious, would I like to meet from YouTube, I'm guessing. But, I'm not sure if the obvious is Marcellus Wiley or not. Because if it is, it's Marcellus Wiley. If it's not then it's Marcellus Wiley. If it is a Marcellus Wiley, then I'd have to say, oh no, I don't know if she didn't say from YouTube. She just said who besides the obvious. Marcellus Wiley. First choice, Marcellus Wiley. I want to meet him. I'd like to hang out with him. I'd like to have his babies, but that's, a little stalkerish crazy. But I'd love to go to the gym. I'd like to go ape, to the Go Ape area and do that. I would love to vlog with Marcellus Wiley. I love him. Other than that, it's a toss-up between Ellen, who I think is totally funny and totally great and seems like a really nice person, and Rosie O'Donnell. Now, here's the thing about Rosie O'Donnell. I feel like Rosie and I have a very similar sense of bitch-tastic, dirty humor, and I think that we'd get along great, like good old friends. So, there you go. I already answered her, eat anything. Oh, and then she said, where would you do the banana that I haven't done her yet? Like, my secret's sorted. Like, ooh. Okay. And here's the thing. The banana and I get it done. A lot. Like at least daily. And there's a lot of places it's been done. We hooked up when we were 25. And so when you're 25, it's different. 25 to 30 is different. You're a lot more willing to do things that are a little nutty. But I would say on a rooftop. I used to have a guy friend who I kind of fooled with. That's a problem I've had. Like, blending that line. But a guy friend who I kind of fooled with. And he had a job that enabled us to go up to the 27th floor and then take these two more staircases up to the like top of the building, and we would look down at the city, and it was absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful, but also scary. And I think having sex up there would be awesome. So there you go. Yeah. There you go. I skipped Fox Heather's dream vacation because she also asked who influenced my life the most. So I have to really think on that one. That's a good one. And I think I'm going to do that one on my birthday because there's some that I just want to be in the birthday video. So, alright. Not a lot of energy. Sorry, guys. I went for that second run. I'm so stoked about it, but I'm a little like, I don't know. Like, I'm totally stoked by the fact that my time is going, but it's a lot to go from not running to like pushing yourself as hard as you can. So, oh, my water is doing great. I'm finishing up my last glass. I weighed in this morning at 138.4, which is not bad at all. It's a pound. It's a little less than a pound. It's 0.6 higher than I weighed in officially at Weight Watchers, but I told y'all I had a late dinner, plus the scale is usually about 0.6 higher than Weight Watchers, so I'm feeling pretty good. And just now I stepped on the scale after drinking ass loads of water, eating dinner, and everything else, and I'm only 3 pounds with clothes, all the water, and dinner. I'm like 3 or 4 pounds up. So we're on track. Yay! I'm tired. Okay. Tomorrow's question, so it's Lethargy313, CJ1897, and Vicky Gianna. So, bye.